This is my presentation on types of coaching, so different ways and concepts of coaching sport. First one is goal setting. So goal setting is setting targets for a team or an individual. They are based on previous situations and what you expect them to do. So previous situations meaning like last season, and what they expect them to do could be what you're expecting from this season. Goals are discussed and agreed between either a team or an individual, so that could be like a group decision or just a personal targets for individuals. Goals are set in every sport but vary on sport ability and experience, so there'll be different goals in swimming than football. Ability could be professional footballers and amateur footballers, and experience could be someone who's been around the game for 10 years and someone who's been around the game for 1 year. So in goal setting, there's the thing called SMART. This is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time. This is what the goals are. So specific would be specific goals to your sport. Measurable would be how you would see if someone was hitting their goals throughout the season. Achievable would be, are they able to actually reach the goals they've set. Realistic would be before setting the goals, seeing if it would be appropriate to set these goals, and time would be the time scale of when they need to achieve these goals. Considerations in goal setting would be the outcome of the goals, what you're looking to achieve, the process, which is what you're doing in that time to achieve the goals, who set them, whether they are personal goals or set by a coach or manager, and context and standard is again like experience, ability, something like that. So examples are to win the league, that's a long-term goal. To gain match fitness, that's like a mid-term goal, so like in a pre-season or halfway through a season. And a short-term goal is to complete more passes, that could be in a game or training or something like that. The advantages of goal setting is it can push people to try harder. It can help win trophies if that's the goals you have set. It can improve ability if your goal set is to improve something like shooting, passing, something like that. And it can also increase effort as people try harder as they want to achieve the goals. Disadvantages are it can be negative if they're not reached, as it can demotivate people. There may not always be appropriate goals, which means they could be harder to achieve. If targets aren't agreed between a coach and a player, it can cause conflict. If the goals are too hard, this can be discouraging. If the goals are too long term, it can be demotivating as they're too long and hard to achieve. If there's too many goals, it can be put a player under pressure, and it can be hard for them to achieve any of them. And also pressure, so if there's a goal set and they feel the pressure of having to achieve it, this can cause poor performance. Next one is demonstration. Demonstration in coaching is teaching a technique to demonstrate specific skills. So demonstration is where you actually show the kind of skill you want them to practice. It's often used with beginners and children. An example would be a smash in badminton or a layup in basketball. So you actually physically show them how to do it by you doing it. It is effective with 3 key points of. It's effective if you keep it down to 3 key points of the exercise. Big obvious movements when practicing, and also showing them what's bad about it if you're doing it wrong, and repetition, so constantly re-showing them how to do it so they understand it. Advantages of a demonstration is it's good for visual learners so they can actually see how to do it. It prevents misunderstanding, because sometimes if you're trying to explain something, people might not really understand what you're saying, so actually showing it may help. It shows hard to explain skills, so it's easier to just sometimes show people than actually just explain it. And can also show what people are doing wrong, so you can demonstrate poor technique as well and show people why that is wrong. Disadvantages of demonstration is it's not useful for all sports. You can't always demonstrate the type of skills, so like in swimming. If coaches aren't actually very skilled in the sport, then this could be negative with demonstration, as it could be hard for them to show it if they can't do it properly. It could be tedious for more advanced players because they normally already know how to do it. And if a player may not see it and you don't repeat it, it can be hard for them to follow on and practice it properly because they won't know what they're doing. The final thing is adaptation. This is where a coach changes a session or a drill to suit their players he's working with. This could be either advancing the session, making it harder for people who find it too easy, or making it easier to suit people who are struggling. This is often used with beginners, people with disabilities, and people who have low confidence in the sport. There's different types of adaptation: is grouping by task, mixed, and differentiation. Adaptation advantages is good to help beginners. It helps out beginners as if they're struggling with it first, you can make it easier for them. It means people can improve at different levels, so people don't get left behind, or people aren't bored from doing too easy stuff with the group. It can help people with disabilities, as you can adapt the session to make it easier for them. And it gets everyone involved, so there's no one who's too unequipped to not join in on the session, but people who are very good can still do stuff as it's adapted to make it harder. Disadvantages: it can be boring for advanced people if they are stuck doing easy work. It can be demotivating for people struggling, as they are asked to do easy stuff, which can have a negative impact. You can't always adapt everything, so this could be hard for some techniques being taught. It can discourage participation as people might not like the sessions being changed that much. It can become tedious for advanced players if they're doing too easy stuff with the group. And it's harder with large groups to adapt it because you can't change it for everyone.